like, there was like, it was tucked under the counter, and there was like a straight Glock. Like it was not a BB gun. It was not a,
oh my God.
Like, it was a serious gun. And my client was the one that found it, and he goes, Brianne? And I'm like, yeah, what's up? And he's like,
there's a Glock sitting on the back of the toilet.
yeah, but it also like was like kind of in sight. Like
it was in the
peeking
bathroom.
out. It was in the bathroom. I don't know
in like
what
a
this
nice neighborhood.
Yeah. Maybe he's in the mirror just being like, tough guy. You know? Like, who knows?
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Behind the Lockbox. I'm your host, Stephanie Zalewski, here with
Cameron Barbier.
Yes. Today, I am really excited for our guest. We actually met at a listing of mine like 2 years ago in the middle of COVID. Mm-hmm. Do you remember which listing that was?
I do. Mount Soledad.
Yes, yeah? Yes. And we then reconnected at a party that we had actually at one of our waterfront listings. And I feel like we've just been besties ever since.
Agreed.
Yes. She's a proud dog mom like us. Well, you're an action. Yes, but you're like a real mom, which, you know, but you know,
this is all we got.
This is all we got. Just the dogs. Winnie and Gwen. And then you have Lonnie, you know. But anyway.
That's cute.
Her dog is, wait till you see pictures. Okay. She's an agent with Pacific Sotheby's International Realty and an all-around amazing human. Brianne Stauffer, welcome to Behind the Lockbox.
Oh my goch, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah,
this is so official, and I'm a little nervous, but
That's okay. That's what the wine's for.
Exactly.
Yes.
I was like, pour me up.
You guys already finished the bottle, but it's
Okay.
cool.
Here we go again.
I'm just jealous. I'm just jealous that I haven't had any. So you know,
I wasn't going
there's
to let her
that.
drink alone, so obviously.
Thank you.
It's a good friend.
Yes. Thank you.
I couldn't do it, so I appreciate that. I think
Very
best
loyal.
friends. Yes. So, I prepared you. I told you to bring the stories. Mm-hmm. Tell me where you would like to start.
Well, I mean, when I walked through the door, I was kind of telling you guys, like, oh my gosh, this week has been absolutely insane.
And I know you've had a crazy couple weeks because we talked a couple weeks ago. We were supposed to meet up, and then you had listing photos, and I was like, girl, do it. So what's been going on?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just been a roller coaster. So I think it was like 2 weeks ago, I signed a listing and then like 3 buy-sides, and it accumulated to around like 8 million.
Amazing.
And that all happened like
Golf
on
clap.
a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So
Awesome.
like
I
it
love
was,
when that shit happens.
Yeah, it was
Yes.
one after the other. And of course before that, you know, it's so much work to put things into place and make sure that everything's, you know, you're really on your buyers, you're really making sure like you're prepared for a listing to come on.
There's a lot that goes into it that I don't think people realize.
There are. And
Well,
then
we talked about this last week. Like, when it comes to a listing, you're paying for the photos. You're paying for all this stuff up front, all the marketing. And if it doesn't sell for some reason, we're out that money. So listings, but, you know, listings are gold. So anyway.
They are. But I have noticed, and we'll talk about my week too, but I don't know about you guys, but the buyers, if it's like in the range of a couple million, like that buyer pool is so much smaller than like
It has been
600 to $1 million to $1.5 million. Like
anything really $1.5 million under has been
agreed. And like I think anything over 2 is just like your people are more hesitant. They don't necessarily have to move because they're probably already chilling in $1.5 million house.
Yeah.
So
or it has to be like move-in ready, the right house. Like if they're going to leave what they have now, they want to make sure that they're going to like
something equal or better.
Or better. Yeah.
And people are back to work. Like no one wants to do a renovation right now. So if you have something that like needs a little bit of work, even though it's like a good price, like it's harder.
It
for
is harder,
sure.
yeah.
They would rather pay.
Or some of your stuff, are they all move-in ready? All your escrows or?
Yes.
Okay.
I would say move-in ready. One's just like a little dated. It was built in 2004. I mean, really good quality builder though. So, I mean, in my eyes, I'd be like, let's move in, get the house, and like renovate it as you want.
Yeah,
you know,
especially
like,
when it's like livable. You know, it's
totally
not
livable.
disgusting from the 70s, and there's grease caked. You know what I mean? Like
yeah. So my week was interesting. So I had like the really high of last week, and then this week.
really
maybe it
low
was
lows.
2 weeks ago was a good week. And then last week was shit.
I actually think that's the case because I think I talked to you like 2 weeks ago. You're like, I just got 3 escrows back to back, and then last week I was like, how's it going? She's like, I'll tell you when I see you. I'm like, oh shit, it's gone down.
Yeah. So it first started. I had a buyer who's a friend of mine We were looking in Coronado.
Seems promising. Oh,
yeah,
nice.
yeah. We
Okay.
were looking in Coronado for him.
Okay.
And he was kind of like, I have this other agent who's a friend of mine. He works for me. And I said, you know, like to
wait. He has, so he's not in real estate.
No,
but
no.
he has a friend of his that's also an agent
that works
for him.
Yeah. So like this agent is not a full-time agent, obviously.
Okay.
You know, but since someone just had like a freaking real estate license, which they give away these days
for free,
that, you know, that all of a sudden that person is entitled to something, even though like they probably don't work like the way we work.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So, I just said, I was like, listen, like to make it fair, because, you know I can close the deal for you. I'm like very confident.
Was he trying to like cut this guy in on the deal?
Correct.
Oh God. Okay.
So I said, I can give him a referral fee so that he's comfortable for me.
It's very nice of you.
Executing the deal for you, you know, 25%. And that's for, I've never even this guy or he's never lifted a finger.
Yeah,
so
it's like free money for him.
And again,
free money.
It's like he's a friend of yours, so you're like, look, okay, I'll do you a solid because you did not need to do that.
Totally. And just to like secure the business,
right?
You know,
right.
So
sometimes you got to buy the deal. It was the right thing to do.
Yeah. And the price point was like good enough that it made sense.
Right.
So anyways, we end up offering on this property. We get into escrow, and at the inspection, he comes up to me and he goes, well, Bree, like I'm kind of looking at this other house on the other side of the street for $4 million. And I look it up really quick because
you're like, what do you mean you're kind of looking at it?
Yeah. So I knew he had been in open houses like the weekend before, but that doesn't mean anything. That's not a private showing. That's like,
right.
I encourage people to go to open houses if I feel comfortable enough with them, and maybe now,
maybe
more.
never,
maybe now, no more without
They need to be babysat. You know what? I'll go with you to that open house thing.
Yeah. I'll pick you up from your house. Bring the kids.
We're gonna actually hold hands as we walk through. Do not talk to that person.
Yes, look down, no eye contact. So then I'm like, okay, we're nearing the end of our inspection. So I look it up and I'm like, this is listed with my same brokerage.
Okay.
And I called the agent just really quick, stepped to the side and said, hey, can we like come for a private showing? I had no idea he went through the open house before.
Okay.
And
he just kind of said, I'm just looking at it.
Totally. Like almost like, I know we're in escrow on this one. I just want to make sure this is the right one.
Which happens.
And that is how I interpreted it.
Right.
So then...
How you interpreted it. Lovely.
I know.
I'm scared.
I need to ask more questions.
Light bulb. Lesson learned.
Yeah.
You know what? You need to send your life way to me before I start working with you. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. So anyways, this is kind of
a call her and she's like,
I call her. She's like, I'm literally a neighbor. I can come over and do a private showing with you and your client. I'm like, cool. We'll be there in 10. She's like, I'll be there in 5. I'm like, Great. She was already ready. She was going to another appointment like elsewhere. So she was ready to go. And I said, we'll be really quick. So we walk in and my client is like, can I just like look around really quick? And I'm like, yeah. And this is another agent at my brokerage. And I had never met her before. So she was so sweet. And I walk in and she's like, oh my gosh, like so nice to meet you. And then my client and her shake hands and she's like, and she looks at me with a very perplexed look on her face. And as then my client walks around and looks at the property, she pulls me aside, like grabs my elbow and like whispers in my ear. And she's he texted me last night. He's been to my open house and he texted me last night asking if I represent him, if I can cut my commission. Yeah.
This just happened.
Yeah. And I had no idea, like he had been in the open house. He didn't disclose that. Let alone that he's like texting the listing agent at 10 p.m. at night.
And you know this client.
I know him. Yes, I know him. He was considered, a friend. Yeah, which maybe an acquaintance. I'll say.
I don't even think he's that anymore. But
anyway, no,
continue.
He's done.
Yes.
He's done. Yeah,
fired.
Yeah, you're blocked
on everything.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So then what happened?
So and the listing agent was nice as can be and just said, by the way, I just said we're not a discount brokerage.
Good for her.
And she remained strong. And she was like, I'm so sorry, because when he came through my open house, he did say he was working with another realtor, who now I know is you. And so I was like, And I didn't really know what to think of this information as we are all in the house in different rooms now.
Yeah. And you're already in escrow.
Already in escrow.
On another property.
Already in escrow. So then the client comes back down and, you know, she and I kind of wink at each other. She's like, okay, like. I got you. Be careful, kind of. And that's what she told me. And I was like.
I love an agent like that. Where
me too.
Like, they're not trying to snake your business. They're very much like, get him in line, you know?
Yeah. Well, I think agents like that. They do this for the long run and not the short commission check. Because we could all take an extra, you know, 2.5%. She totally could have.
Yeah.
And she could have done that. And, you know, I think that there's so much liability in that when you double end. And I mean, that's my personal
you got to be very careful.
Yeah.
Right.
So that being said, we left and I looked at him and I said, you need to let me know if there's any other houses that you're trying to look at. Because I kind of just like, that was my line in the sand. And kind of hinted like, I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing. Right. And you're just using and abusing all these realtors to like cut commissions.
It's not cool.
It's not cool. It's also like, no, everyone's going to hear about this.
Right.
Yeah. So then.
Hello.
And I was honest. I said, we're on escrow on another property to the agent.
Yeah.
And then that agent knows the other agent I'm on an escrow with.
Right. So
then I get a call from the other agent saying, what the hell's going on? So then I look like the asshole. Can I curse on here?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I've been cursing all the time. So.
We'll be bleeping out the F word, but you know, it's cool.
Yes.
Anything else is game. Yes.
Okay, cool.
That's so just, it's infuriating and it's happened to us. I mean, it has, and it's just, I know. I'm so sorry.
So then to like wrap it up, we were finishing the request for repair on this other house that we were already in escrow with. And then the agent from that listing and private showing that we walked over to and did calls me the next day and says, your client submitted an offer with another agent.
Where did he find the third agent?
That was the friend.
Oh, the
one that you were going to give the referral to.
Yes.
This little
So now he's getting, do you get a referral fee for that?
I should.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But are you going to? No.
I just don't want to deal with like snakes like that.
Yeah,
I'd rather hold my head high and walk away and just know like the liability and the legal ramifications are not on me.
Yeah.
So, so anyways, I just know what this client did is he went to his other friend and said, hey, so if I write it with you, can you split your commission in half? I'm sure he negotiated every little cent out of that.
You think that, that I mean, and that's the whole thing is like, it does take a buyer who, I don't want to say more sophisticated, but like maybe understands, because, you know, I think what some people don't know is that the buyer does not pay for anything. The selling, the listing agent and the seller are the ones that pay the commissions.
Absolutely.
So for him to be the buyer, sure, like for example, her husband is a licensed broker.
Yeah.
And I've sold a couple properties for them by now. But when he goes to buy them, he doesn't go through me, which is 100% okay because he knows what he's doing. And he goes directly to the listing agent and says, hey, look, I'll let you double end this if you'll drop down your commission and give me a break on the property or whatever. And that's worked well. And so, but again, he's a broker. So he's like, I'm not taking any of the commission. So you can have whatever if you can just give me, you know, that's a different situation.
Yeah.
But for a buyer to do that, and, you know, there are brokerages like Redfin. I mean, let's just be very honest about it. They will do 1% listings or with the buy side, the buyer agent basically has to give some of their commission back to...
It's a 0.5%. 0.5%.
Is it? Oh, I thought it was way more than that.
No, I think it's 0.5%.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? So like, I think that's where people started to get that idea was they're like, oh, in this market, sellers aren't really willing to like drop prices, but maybe I can get the listing agent or the buyer agent to like give me some of their commission. And it's just like, guys, we work our asses off. No.
I get the sentiment there. I get that kind of mindset.
And wanting to get a deal, but in a way like where her husband does it or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, it's just very different.
Unfortunately, like the way that this client did it is he pitted how many realtors against one another.
It's disrespectful.
And I was just in the middle in that hot seat just sweating because I was the one taking the heat on everything.
Yeah, because he's your client. Like,
of course.
Yeah, I mean, it's
of course
bullshit.
And I did have conversations after with the listing agent on the property and then the listing agent that I was in escrow with. And I said, you know, I am terribly sorry. This is not the way I conduct business because again, like I'll lose the client. I don't care about the check.
This is your reputation.
It's my reputation.
Right.
And I think that that's so much more important.
It's everything.
Yeah.
I agree.
And the last thing I need is like someone saying, well, she did this and she did that, instead of like, they were like, this poor girl got totally messed up by this guy, you know?
And you're like, but I'm that too, so pour me some more wine.
Yeah. Pour me more wine.
That's insane.
Yeah, it was crazy. So then, you know, lost that. And, you know, that was one thing. So I was like, oh, that's a bummer. And then the very next day, my new listing that had already gone live, I got an email in like my old email. It must be connected to like my MLS, like from forever ago. And I got to change that because I'm like, how the hell are these people finding my email from college?
What is your email from college?
Yeah, what is it, Brianne?
It's just my first and last name at Yahoo.
It's going to sound like Roxy
Yahoo.
Chick.
Oh, I wish. No. That would have been my
Stauffer Girl 24. Oh my God, wait,
Roxy
what was
Chick 3018
Oh
or
my
something.
God.
Not college, but like
last week.
That's like
elementary
high school, middle school,
Yeah.
like whatever your
Or my
AOL. Yeah, exactly.
when you sign in,
chat.
it still dials up. You're like, oh.
Oh my God, I haven't heard that dial tone in forever.
God, it's nostalgic. you
Yeah,
know?
I
really
believe it.
is.
Take me back.
I believe it.
Some
I don't
people
even
don't
know
even know what we're
AOL
talking about.
I know. That's, well, if you don't, you probably
You're
shouldn't
too
be
young to watch.
Yeah,
Listen to
you're too
this.
You're too young to be a realtor. Okay. If you don't know what we're talking about, get out of here, you 22-year-olds. You don't even know how to read a contract. I'm kidding. I'm going to get heat for that probably, but it's...
No, you won't. It's okay. Oh my God, that's a good point. Oh, that should be the new, like, do you know what AOL is? You're too young to be a realtor.
100%.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway. Oh my God.
Okay,
wait.
so it's in your old email, or it came through on your MLS email.
Somebody emailed you?
Yeah. So this is my new listing that has already been on the market for like 3 days at this point. Did open houses every day. I never got a single phone call from anyone. Yes.
You hadn't had any showings at that point.
No. Like, I mean, I didn't get a phone call from the agent who submitted this email to me. Oh, I had calls like for the house.
Got it. Okay.
But this is like regarding something else because an agent was trying to get a hold of me.
Interesting. And they're like, hey, Roxy Girl 24.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
You did get my email? I sent it to Roxy Girl 23.
Yeah. So
at AOL.com.
So and it was like over the holiday weekend. So this is Wednesday by the time. So I think I made it live on like the 30th. So then
yeah, because you did. I remember you did open houses over the weekend. Yeah,
it had been listed for like
a week, almost at that point.
A week.
Yeah,
and I never got a single phone call regarding
this email.
So I get forwarded this email from my team, and my team's like, "What the hell?" Apparently, my sellers, so properties on market, I helped them like paint, declutter. I literally like was in there packing boxes with them, hiring a power washer, window washer.
You canceled our sunset happy hour with the dogs to go over and do photos at this house.
Exactly.
So I'm just saying.
Exactly. So anyways, I did all this work. The listing had already been live for multiple days. And I get this forwarded email to like my actual like business email now. And it says like urgent. And this agent is like, I've been working with these clients. I have a listing agreement signed. Yes. And
they couldn't pick up the phone and try to call you?
That is my problem. That is my problem. But it's okay. You know, maybe he was scared.
Wait a minute. You are live. Let me just repeat this.
Live
you
for
are
multiple
live
days.
On the market for a week. You
Yeah.
also have a listing agreement signed.
Of course. Yeah.
How does this happen?
So
you call him, I'm assuming.
Yeah, we got on the phone right away to say like, what is that? No, he's on actually. So this is like
There's a gnat in here.
This is the only thing is like he's on a team who I know the team lead and I adore the team lead. So the team lead was the one that stepped in on Wednesday and said, I don't think you guys saw this. Please like respond, you know?
Do I know these people?
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me later.
Yeah. But so it was sad because like this other agent, I guess, had been doing all this work for them too. And the sellers who were trying to purchase another property were like, we'll go with the agent who can bring us the deal of, you know, our new home. Yeah, our new home. So who can represent us on the buy side.
Did they tell you that? They
told me that, but they had never mentioned that they were working with another agent.
And did you already find them another property?
In escrow.
It's in escrow.
It was already in escrow before we listed the property.
But they signed 2 listing agreements.
So, which were like, I think like 2 weeks apart.
Who was first?
Theirs. Shit. So we called like our legal team and we were like, I've never had 2 listing agreements on a property.
I've never ever heard of that.
Yeah. So legal's
I know it's happened.
Yeah.
Sure, but like that's kind of a big. I mean, the sellers should have said something.
Well, we called the sellers and we said, "What on earth is this?" And they go, "Well, you know, we were gonna work with them, blah blah blah, but it didn't work out." And so we were like, did you
cancel?
Did you sign a cancellation? And they're like, we just sort of stopped answering their calls. Oh. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Ghosted him.
That sounds legal.
Yeah. And
you ghosted the
how many times as realtors, like, do we kind of understand that other side? Like, I've been ghosted so many times by clients, and then they'll circle back 6 months later. We bought a house.
Yeah.
With
Hey,
Annie Schmanny. I don't know.
Or the best. Hey, we're actually in escrow, but can we get your opinion on something?
Oh my God, no. I ignore their calls if
Same.
they do that. Because technically, we actually can't give our opinion.
And I wouldn't.
Because they're not our client.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's not, technically the other agent's fault. I mean, he should have picked up the phone and called you when he saw it go live.
That's the one thing that I was.
Oh my God!
I
would have been
bummed
immediately on the phone.
Like,
and
what
been
are you
like,
doing?
What's
This is my listing.
Because how did he say anything about how long it had been since he had talked to the seller?
No, and we probably should have asked more questions. But regardless,
Brianne, do I need to have you be asking more questions? Like a lot more questions.
I need to after this week. I need to be asking 101 questions.
What's your blood type? What's your social security number? Give it to me, or I'm not working with you.
What is every name of any agent you know?
Seriously,
rate them from 1 to 10 on how you know them.
Am I number 1? Well, if I'm not, then you're out.
Yes.
Oh my God. Okay, wait. All right. So
you have had a week.
You really have. So now, how is this? What's happening now? Like,
so luckily, like the team lead and I and my team, like we all really worked it, which is
so great. That doesn't always happen. So that's great.
And we did it like without like legal ramifications involved, because like no one wants to do that.
No.
Also, it would hold up like our buy side, you know. And so, anyways, we're doing a co-list with them, or I think we agreed to a referral fee of 50%.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Still,
that sucks for you though.
Yeah. Well, you know what?
50% of something is better than 50% of nothing.
True. And also, it's just crazy being blindsided 2 days in a row like that.
Yeah. Well, and I also think, again, what you just said, like you put yourself in their shoes. If it were you, where you had been like, oh, I guess they're just waiting to list. Like they're not answering my calls after a couple weeks. Like I'll keep following up, like whatever. And then you see it active. I mean, I would shit.
Well, I think the craziest part is like they had a signed listing agreement.
It's wild.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah. So like I read the email. I was like,
it's just kind of annoying because everybody else's mistake and you're getting the shit end of the stick for it.
It's been
twice this week.
Twice. Yeah.
Do you want more wine? Max, can you go pour more wine? Did we drink it all? Give her the straw. Give her the bottle with I bet I have a long straw. A twirly straw, like just sucks
She didn't say no.
I know. I didn't. But also,
she was laughing. She's all.
I mean, that's kind of cute with the straw.
I think it's a cute look. But anyway,
I love it.
Behind the Lockbox is sponsored by Property Showcase Group. Property Showcase Group has a team of creatives, directors, producers, editors, marketing specialists, and designers that work in tandem to tell and share stories of the built environment. Whether you're looking for full-service production or simply just need content creation, Property Showcase Group can help take your business to the next level. To learn more or to contact Property Showcase Group to schedule a consultation, you can find them at propertyshowcasegroup.com. That's spelled PROPERTYSHOWCASEGROUP.com. PropertyShowcaseGroup.com.
So that's just been like my crazy week, you know. And I have to remember like the week before that was an amazing week. I was like riding so many highs. And then, you know, with I think every deal, like if it's going too smooth,
there's
like,
something wrong with it.
Something's wrong.
Something is fucking up here. Like
always gotta ask the questions.
Yeah. So
this roller coaster. I always say that to my mom. I'm like, I want out this roller coaster.
Yeah.
And I signed up for it. So, you know, there's that.
Yeah. So I think like lesson from all of it is like ask a million questions. And don't be afraid to, especially if you are the one who's going to be representing these people.
I mean, who would have thought to say, did you sign another listing agreement? But maybe you need to ask that now.
What?
It's insane. And I got to tell you, like, again, I think that the longer that we go through this, we've all gotten better at really putting our foot down, right? And being, like you said, like kind of firing that client, walking away. Like I've had to do it recently, and you're just kind of like, okay, it is what it is. Like even when, I've been working on something for quite a while now, and it's kind of come up to the point where it's like, this is how it's going to go, or we're just not going to move forward. And I'm like, well, this is how it's going to go. And it sucks. But again, just like yours, like 50% of something is better than 50% of nothing. But
oh my God,
I don't think that people really understand what we truly go through unless you're in our inner circles. You know what I mean?
I agree. And I think every realtor can like relate to that with one another. Like when I was talking to the other realtor, he's like, listen, I've had a week too. I get it. And like, I'm sorry it's this way. And you know what? Like, I'm just thankful for, I'm thankful for the business that I get. I have to constantly remain in like a place of gratitude.
Same. Right.
Even though you want to like rip someone's head off some days.
Every other day. Yeah.
Yeah. But like, you gotta keep remembering that and putting like your one foot in front of the other, because like, I had no closings for like 2.5 months.
Yeah, same.
And we know, like, people think like we get these fat checks, but like, let me tell you how fast they go.
They're gone the second that they come in. When it's not a this market, it's a different market. You know what I mean? Like, we've shifted, and the strong will survive, and that'll be that. You know?
I definitely agree on that. I did like look up numbers of like some top agents, and just even kind of seeing down. 100%. Yeah. Like, everyone is down. Yes. And so you're right. Like, the tough and the strong ones will survive.
It's true.
And, like, my team's good about reminding me, like, put yourself in like a place of gratitude, because sometimes also like deals do come to us. We don't have to chase them all the time.
100%. And the longer that you do this, and again, it's the longer that we come from that. Like, I started this year, last year was tough on a lot of us, right? Yeah. And we went, literally, it changed overnight. We went from full on abundance, most of us, to, and some people had a really good year last year where they didn't the year before, and vice versa, you know what I mean? And so it was just kind of one of those things. But I literally started this year and I was like, okay, we are changing up this year. We are basically coming from a place of abundance, because when you're in that scarcity mindset, and like, this podcast is not this podcast, but we're not getting all woo woo, but it's true. Yeah. Like, there are days where I actually saw this meme last night where it was like, I'm about to go spiral. Anybody want anything? And I sent it to my mom, and I was like, wow, do I feel seen? Because there are days where I am.
Yep. Yeah.
She hears it just as much as my mom does, because I call her and I call my mom, and I'm like, oh my God, here we go. And they're like, come back. And I'm like, I can't. I can't. Like, it's insane. You know what I mean? Yeah. But that is entrepreneurship. And if you are here for the long haul,
there has to be a certain type of personality, I feel like.
We're psycho. I've come to find out. And I'm like, why do I do this to myself? Like, why? And my mom's like,
risk takers.
She's like, you've done this your whole life. And I'm like, yeah, I have. And I'm like, well, it's very uncomfortable. And she's like, well, clearly that's where you thrive, you psycho. And I'm like, yeah, I know. Thanks, Mom.
What? That's so true. Like, true. I never was that good in school until I was like, I have a project due the next freaking day. And then I would stay up all night. And do the project, and because I thrive under pressure.
Same, but I hate every second of it. For sure. And then I come out and I'm like, and
I'm like, I killed that.
And they're like, do you want to maybe? Yeah, I know you did it.
C minus.
Spiraling out of control. I know.
That's a pass, right?
Pass, fail, C plus, D, whatever. It's not an F. Like, no, I was never. School was fine, but like, let's be honest, I was there to socialize my entire life.
I think most realtors, like, we were there to socialize.
Everyone, I did not, like, I did fine in school, but
no, I did fine too.
This came up recently, but
I like to do the contracts, so I have a different perspective.
She is our business manager. She runs our entire team. Like,
that's good.
Yes, I would be
procrastinating. I think I would like every night.
Oh my God, I would be lost without her. She's like, "Do you want me to start this now?" I'm like, "No, let's go do it." She's like, "No, I'll do it now." And I'm like, "All right."
She's like, "Let me just prep it so when you need it in 5 seconds, and you call me screaming with your head's cut off."
Yeah. And she,
that is so
this
true.
one got like 4.0, 4.2.
I did like to socialize though.
You did. Oh, so you're just, again, overachiever. Like, best of all worlds.
No.
Oh, that's your husband. That's your
Yes,
husband. That's your husband.
not me.
You're just, like, very talented. Multifaceted.
Oh, okay. I'll take that.
Yeah. Socialized. Got 4.0. I was like, 2.5 or 3. Is that good? Like, I don't know.
Well, I didn't get that in college. I passed the
fair.
exact amount of credits that you needed
but college
to get
is
through.
like, how can they expect us to
Well,
do
I was like, I already got in here, so
Shouldn't
you
you
know.
Where'd you go?
UCLA.
Yeah, it's tough. Good job.
I know.
Not for academics, though. For a sport I never played,
row. She was road crew.
but I'd never done it before. Long story.
Wait,
Anyways.
she just, is it not? I know.
That sounds like
They're
when they
like-
try and get like their kids into the school.
Yeah, I pretty much was that, except no.
Don't
That
admit
part
that.
didn't happen.
Don't admit that.
Yeah, that part didn't happen. But,
Good for you, though.
delete.
I thought growing up, I really did think that you could just buy your way into college. I was like, what's wrong with that, right? They just
Did
need
you
money.
really?
Well, I mean,
Did you
you
mean
can.
money?
We didn't try.
Where did you go?
I went to Santa Barbara. Like,
That's right.
yeah.
Oh, I probably
How
saw you on.
fun.
Oh, way too much fun.
How fun. I went to Arizona State. I mean, I don't remember much.
Yeah.
It was a great
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
I had a great
I
time.
went to UCSB every weekend, so
Okay, yeah. And
Probably
most of the
stumbled by you.
people that I would like be in Isla Vista with every weekend, now they're like all getting sober and stuff. I'm like, cool. So we all.
we all.
So we're all in the same boat?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm right behind you. Although I'm now in a job where I have to drink. So, like, it's fine, you know? It's
Totally.
cool. It's
Yeah.
fine.
Wait, so I want to say one other thing
Yeah.
about the things that we need to learn is buyer broker agreements should be accepted and executed.
I think they're becoming more accepted. I mean, when I first started, they were like, it was interesting because like the manager that trained me was very much like, you should always have this signed.
I know, but it's
Yeah.
so hard when it's
Well,
like
it was very salesy. And here's the thing: back then, when you're green, you don't know your worth. You're trying to survive. You're just trying to like get every deal because you need a paycheck.
It's so
right?
true.
Now, not that we don't need the paycheck, but we have the experience and the knowledge behind us and the balls to just be like, look, this is, if I'm going to do all this work for you. And we even talk about
Right.
this on our team when we get buyers coming to us, or if our team leads get something and they're like, hey, go ahead and run with this, or they'll vet the person first and be like, look, if you're just interviewing other agents, we're not the one for you, but
Yeah.
we will pass you to somebody on our team who specializes in this. And if you want to work with us, we're happy to do that, but we are going to sign up because it takes months. I mean, the amount
yeah.
of stuff that it takes to work with a buyer.
Oh, yeah.
And sellers and buyers are very different, but equally hard. But buyers tend to take a lot longer and you do a lot more. And we just talked about this last week. You work for free until that paycheck comes in
100%.
on either side.
Yeah.
So, you know, you're putting in time, money, all of it.
Yeah. So also piggybacking on that, my Coronado thing could have been saved if I did a buyer broker agreement.
right.
Because you would have got the commitment.
But you're
'Cause
like,
is
it's
he an
my
escrow on that
friend.
property?
I cannot physically look and see if it's pending because I am pissed.
Yeah, it would be-
I just wish that other agent would be like, I know it's difficult to like, you know, hey, we'll throw you a referral agreement, but I wish they would, you know?
You know, I don't know. I got to the place in that transaction where it felt so icky that I wanted out.
Yeah,
and I
nothing
wanted
to do.
out.
I've been there.
I wanted out.
It's not worth
in a
any
clean,
amount of money.
Yeah,
Yes.
I wanted out in a clean way.
Yeah.
I could have fought tooth and nail. I mean, like the other property was $4 million. Like would have been worth a paycheck. For
Right,
sure.
right.
But when I have like an intuition that I feel like
Listen, that might not even close.
probably won't. Who cares?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Right.
then I don't want to be on that roller coaster. No
Exactly.
way. Get me off the
Exactly.
ride. Get
Yeah.
me off
Right.
the ride. So I think for me, I was just like, I feel so gross about all of this.
Yeah.
I feel gross about the way I was represented to, you know, the
Other
listing
people.
agent, the other
Right. Yeah.
agents.
Right.
And I felt gross about just how the client was like pitting everyone against each other. That I was like, I don't want anything to do with this.
And I firmly
But, you know,
believe when you walk away,
Yeah.
more doors are open.
But if I did have a buyer broker agreement, I probably could have said like, you can have it, but you give me this referral and I will be a silent.
Yeah.
Let
Yeah.
me know when my check arrives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
know. I
Yeah.
know. It's rough.
It's
but
true. But like in this business, relationships are everything.
Everything.
And so
and you will walk away because those agents will see again what you've gone through and the way that you handled it
Yeah.
in that time, being like, hey, look, I didn't know, especially the agent you did the private showing with. I mean, she knows what you've been through.
Oh,
You
she
know
was
what I
like,
mean?
she
So-
was like, I can't even believe. She told me after we did the private showing, she looked at me and she was like, I don't have a good feeling about this. Be careful.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I knew what he was doing. So I was like, I have to follow through because we are under a contract right now. So I have to follow through on his wishes of like what he wants, you know, fixed and all of that. Yeah. So it was my fiduciary responsibility to do that.
Of course.
But the second that we canceled that, I was like, I'm not. I'm out.
You're done.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Well, you still have a couple more that are pending, yes, this week?
Yeah. We're good.
That's good.
We're good. That's good. Yeah. Things are good. And yeah, just remain like grateful of stuff.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of a good little place to kind of end. We have a game we want to play.
Let's do it.
Okay. Are you ready? So these are 3 questions Cam's going to ask you. It's just kind of like rapid fire. First thing that comes to your mind, okay?
Yeah.
Okay. What's the craziest or pettiest thing that's ever killed or almost killed one of your deals?
I feel like I just said the podcast with them.
Okay. Yeah. What's the weirdest thing or situation you've ever walked in on?
Well, one time I found a gun.
Oh.
Yeah.
What do you
mean?
Like just sitting out on a table?
Pretty much, yeah. Like, I was doing a tour in a property that kind of had like an ADU attached to it. It was in a nice beach town, but it was in a neighborhood of the beach town that was like, they had a lot of like, maybe not 100% permitted stuff.
Sure.
So there was like the house, and then there was like the ADU, and then we went back in the ADU to see it. And in the bathroom, like, you know how you have like those IKEA organizers or like, what is that? Like the container store?
Yeah, like the little drawers.
There was like, it was tucked under the counter, and there was like a straight Glock. Like it was not a BB gun. It was not a,
oh my God.
Like it was a serious gun. And my client was the one that found it, and he goes, Brianne? And I'm like, yeah, what's up? And he's like,
there's a Glock sitting on the back of the toilet.
Yeah, but it also like was like kind of in sight. Like it was
in the
peeking
bathroom.
Out. It was in the bathroom. I don't know
like
what
a
this
nice neighborhood.
Yeah, maybe he's in the mirror just being like, tough guy. You know, like, who knows? Maybe it wasn't even real, but it looked really real.
Was it heavy? Did you touch it?
No way. I don't need my fingerprints on any of that.
Yeah, that could be like
shit. Good call. What if
she could have been like arrested for murder?
Get pinned for murder.
Yeah. You're like, I swear to God.
Just add it to my week.
Add it to my week. It's fine.
You know what? It's just par for the course at this point.
Yeah.
You're like, Steph, can you bail me out of jail? Like, I swear I wasn't involved.
That thing we talked about on the podcast.
NDA, or what are they called?
Fire broker.
An NDA. That too. You know what? We're making everyone sign NDAs too.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, what's the third one?
If you could be anything other than a real estate agent, what would you be and why?
Oh, okay. So
anything.
Well, growing up, like I love animals, so I always say one day my delusional self says that I'm gonna like have a ranch in Alevenhain and rescue a bunch of animals.
Oh my God, that's like literally my dream too.
They almost moved to Alevenhain. She was like, they were looking at
places
places like she totally would do that.
Yeah,
I told my husband I want like a farm to like rescue animals.
Did you guys just become best friends?
Yep.
Yeah. Well,
are you guys gonna move and be neighbors and like have?
We should just buy a farm together.
No, we'll buy a farm together, and then we'll split it up later.
Okay.
Yeah, build it, and then we'll split it up.
Oh my God, you would just like rescue all the horses.
So I grew up doing that. I don't know if you guys knew that.
No.
Yeah, my family, we moved out.
I feel like you have told me this.
Yeah, to Bonsall, and we had like 3 acres, and we rescued all the animals that people, got over one day. They're like, I gave my daughter a puppy, and then she went to college. And we don't want the puppy anymore. So we would be like, give it here.
What? I mean, who would do that? That's
so the older I get, it's so funny. Like, I want the same thing for myself.
I love that.
That's really cute.
What would you call the rescue? You need to come up with a good name.
I'm so bad at coming up with names.
I'm good. I'll help you.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, we'll think about it.
Yeah,
and I'll have my husband find us the ranch.
Amazing.
And only because he loves a deal, so he'll find like a really. But just be warned. Probably it'll just be vacant land with a shack on it. He'll be like, don't worry, I have a vision. Yeah. And by the way, once we move in, we're selling it a week later. So
so be prepared.
So maybe we shouldn't have them involved. I'll just help you instead.
I'll just come help you with the animals.
We'll parcel the land off.
Yes.
Give it to Bridge. You build our own house, and then we will
do whatever you want with the rest.
We'll cash in, $600K, and then we'll roll it into something else.
If we could make it into a business, then he might be more interested.
So I think there's tax write-offs involved with that.
Okay. Oh, that's right at Matt's alley. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Matt, if you're listening, this is what we want.
Yeah.
And I'll just live on the property and play with Blake and Pip.
Okay.
That's cool.
Perfect.
And Gwen and Winnie and Alani.
Yeah.
All of our children.
There you go. And animals.
Oh my God, what a nice interview.
Thank you so much for
thanks
being
for being
here.
here.
All right. Thank you so much for being here, guys. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for listening. Behind the Lockbox is produced and edited by Property Showcase Group. If you like this podcast, please share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, or review this podcast. Thanks for your support. See you next week.